Well, until quite recently, this is the way that thousands of tourists entered the House of Detention. But the place has always been a great favourite with ghost hunters and ghost clubs from around the world.
Inside the House of Detention hangs the stench that one visitor described as smelling like death. Few places in London have such a feeling of misery, death and despair. One group of ghost hunters familiar with the House of Detention is the Ghost Club of London. The group was founded in the mid-19th century for those interested in exploring London's ghost stories.
So, I mean, who knows?
It was also here that we both heard footsteps in February 1998.
Yeah, that's right. It was like somebody was coming downstairs, wasn't it?
It's curiosity. It's the question of trying to find out the ultimate nature of reality and who we really all are.
I firmly believe there's something going on that can't be explained. If I can see it for myself, then, you know, that's good enough evidence for me.
Several members have heard footsteps running through the cells when no one is there. An old woman has been seen meandering through the candlelit corridors, supposedly a victim of the tortures of the prison. Tourists wandering through the cells have reported encounters with a young girl. The child is either running or standing still, staring, before vanishing. Why would the ghost of a young girl haunt a place like the House of Detention?
The reason behind it could be simple. Children were imprisoned here. By the Victorian times, we'd only just got over a period where we used to execute children. We know, for example, in 1812, an 11-year-old was hanged outside Newgate Prison. The crime, nothing more than stealing a loaf of bread.
Prisoners were housed in squalid conditions. Food was infested. Rats were everywhere.
I stopped suddenly because I felt something very intense. Somebody was trying to communicate with me, and it was a young man, and he was telling me his story. He was unjustly, he had been accused of a crime. I asked him when had he been imprisoned. He had no idea. So I asked him who was the monarch of England at that time, and he answered, George IV is our king. Would place this person in the period between 1821 and 1826.
Until its closure in 2000, the House of Detention was a museum that could even be hired out for parties. But its future as a tourist attraction is mired in legal entanglements. Regardless of what happens to the structure, local ghost hunters believe the spirits of prisoners who suffered here will remain.
Still got a lot of work to do and a lot more experiments that could be carried out here. This is one of our best sites, so it would be a great shame.
Though it would perhaps be justice if some of the memories and some of the ghosts are shaken out of the fabric and go on to haunt whatever they build on the site here, I hope.
Yes, it seems a bit quiet here.
Perhaps the new inhabitants of whatever the House of Detention becomes will soon have their own tales to tell.
We're leaving it to the ghosts.